Chair now recognizes the gentleman from New York, Mr. Torres.
Madam Borough President, you've been in city and state government for more than a decade, and city and state government can be siloed. And I worry about a lack of coordination and communication among the inspectors at various levels of government. You know, not only is Twin Parks Northwest subject to the housing code and the fire code and the building code, all of which have their own inspectors, but the tenants have Section 8 vouchers from 3 administrators,
Right.
HPD, HCR, and NYCHA, all of which have their own inspection regimes. So the patchwork of housing inspections is more of a cacophony than a symphony. Do you share those concerns? Or?
I do, and I think it's important, excuse me, that we continue to work together and have an interagency coordination both from HUD, from HCR, as well as HPD, and the mayor's executive order making sure that there is more consistency on inspections. I mean, when you hear the numbers, and I agree with Congressman Espaillat, we need to make sure that we are at our budget and capacity on all of the inspectors that we have at HPD, at HCR, as well as FDNY, because it's really important. Tenants feel a sense of calling 311 multiple times and not getting any response, or it taking days for inspectors to come out. And by the time the inspectors come out, those issues are sometimes corrected, sometimes they're not. So I think while we encourage New Yorkers to call 311, we have to make sure that there is a consistency on the inspectors that are coming out. And agencies are actually working together. I think in all of these tragedies, because since Twin Parks, January 9th, we've had a series of other fires, far less fatal, where we've not had any fatalities, thank God, but we've had a lot of displaced families. We've had fires in Morris Park, in Allerton, in Parkchester, and other parts of the Bronx, and we have a number of families right now that are housed in area hotels. And so it's called into question not only the housing stock, the aging infrastructure of some of our housing stock, the usage of, the safe space heaters that sometimes are not working, and the faultiness of that, but also holding landlords accountable and making sure that they do the work that they are supposed to do. So I agree that there has to be more coordination, and if we learn anything from Twin Parks, we have to learn that coordination is critically important in keeping affordable housing safe and essential for New Yorkers.
And if I can squeeze in one more question, what can the commissioners, what can the federal government do to create a system that enables all inspectors at every level of government to coordinate and communicate and talk to each other? How do we create more interoperability?
I certainly think HUD sort of convening us for a conversation like that would be incredible, as you said, with the HQS inspections being done by NYCHA, by HPD, by HCR, as well as other federal inspection regimes. I think making sure they're coordinated across them all and that we are all coordinated up and down the chain, I think would be a great, as we come out of an important hearing like this with things to do to make things better, would really be an important first step in that effort.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and also say that the data sharing between agencies at different levels is really important. Obviously, we've increased our coordination significantly under the executive order with our fellow city agencies, but getting that coordination and that data, our inspectional regime is based on a risk-based algorithm, so the more data that algorithm has about the experiences of residents, about the violations at maybe other levels of government that we don't have, makes our algorithm more powerful. It means we're getting to the buildings most in need more often.
And Congressmember, I agree with those points made by my colleagues. We currently have task forces that we sit on at the local level that include Department of Buildings, Department of Investigations, the Fire Department, Department of Health and Mental Health, but that's at the local level. I think there's an opportunity for us to do it at different levels of government, and when I served as HUD Regional Administrator, we convened locally the HCR Commissioner, the HPD Commissioner, and the NYCHA Chair on a regular basis. That was just sort of a symbolic gesture at the time. We tried to figure out how best to coordinate our efforts, but if at the national level, across the many municipalities, the thousands of municipalities, the federal government can step in and encourage and cajole that kind of activity, that would be very helpful.
My time has expired.